Day 14, reading through 2 Kings 21, 1 Chronicles 20. The best is to start with a prayer and give it over to God. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you with thanksgiving. Thank you for your word. Lord, I know today among all this nonsense and all the tumultuous events, Father, that shake a lot of people's ground. Father, we pray that these people would find comfort in you. There is so much divisiveness, Lord. And I pray that you would help us with our spirit. When we are caught in that windmill, that we would come to you. Father, we would come to you for comfort and peace. We would come to you with prayers, to surrender ourselves into your hands and not allow anger rule over us, not allow our sin to rule over us, but give it over to you. And we're asking that you would forgive our sinful thoughts, our anger. Father, I know the evil wants to divide us and keep us in all this mess, Father, but not surrender ourselves to you. And I pray that you would help us to see clear-minded, Father, that we do need your word and we do need to pray more to you and give and surrender. And I pray for our nation. Father, I pray that your will be done, not ours, that you would arm us with your word, that you would help us to come along and unite as a country in your name, Father. As we read your word, Father, let your Holy Spirit open our hearts and minds and show us your will through your word. Build us up for your kingdom. Break every sinful hold that has upon our life and build a new character in you. Give us the stamina and the strength to complete today's reading of 25 chapters and the completing of 2 weeks. In the name of Jesus Christ, thank you. Chapter 21. Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 55 years. His mother's name was Hephzibah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. He rebuilt the high places his father Hezekiah had destroyed. He also erected altars to Baal and made an Asherah pole, as Ahab, king of Israel, had done. He bowed down to all the starry host and worshipped them. He built altars in the temple of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, "In Jerusalem I will put my name." In both courts of the temple of the Lord he built altars to all the starry host. He sacrificed his own son in the fire, practiced sorcery and divination, and consulted mediums and spiritists. He did much evil in the eyes of the Lord, provoking him to anger. He took the carved Asherah pole he had made and put it in the temple, of which the Lord had said to David and to his son Solomon, "In this temple and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. I will not again make the feet of the Israelites wander from the land I gave their forefathers, if only they will be careful to do everything I commanded them and will keep the whole law that my servant Moses gave them." But the people did not listen. Manasseh led them astray so that they did more evil than the nations the Lord had destroyed before the Israelites. The Lord said through his servants the prophets, "Manasseh, king of Judah, has committed these detestable sins. He has done more evil than the Amorites who preceded him, and has led Judah into sin with his idols. Therefore, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I am going to bring such disaster in Jerusalem and Judah that the ears of everyone who hears of it will tingle. I will stretch out over Jerusalem the measuring line used against Samaria and the plumb line used against the house of Ahab. I will wipe out Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and hand them over to their enemies. They will be looted and plundered by all their foes, because they have done evil in my eyes and have provoked me to anger from the day their forefathers came out of Egypt until this day. Moreover, Manasseh also shed so much innocent blood that he filled Jerusalem from end to end, besides the sin that he had caused Judah to commit, so that they did evil in the eyes of the Lord. As for the other events of Manasseh's reign and all he did, including the sin he committed, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? Manasseh rested with his fathers and was buried in his palace garden, the garden of Uzzah, and Amon, his son, succeeded him as king. Amon was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 2 years. His mother's name was Meshulameth, daughter of Haruz. She was from Jotbah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord as his father Manasseh had done. He walked in all the ways of his father. He worshipped the idols his father had worshipped and bowed down to them. He forsook the Lord, the God of his fathers, and did not walk in the way of the Lord. Amon's officials conspired against him and assassinated the king in his palace. Then the people of the land killed all who had plotted against King Amon, and they made Josiah, his son, king in his place. As for the other events of Amon's reign and what he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? He was buried in his grave in the garden of Uzzah, and Josiah his son succeeded him as king. Chapter 22. Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years. His mother's name was Jedidah, daughter of Adiah. She was from Bosca. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and walked in all the ways of his father David, not turning aside to the right or to the left. In the 18th year of his reign, King Josiah sent the secretary, Shaphan, son of Azaliah, and the son of Meshullam, to the temple of the Lord. He said, "Go up to Hilkiah, the high priest, and have him get ready the money that has been brought into the temple of the Lord, which the doorkeepers have collected from the people. Have them entrusted to the man appointed to supervise the work on the temple, and have these men pay the workers who repair the temple of the Lord, the carpenters, the builders, and the masons. Also have them purchase timber and dress stone to repair the temple, but they need not account for the money entrusted to them, because they are acting faithfully." Hilkiah, the high priest, said to Shaphan, the secretary, "I have found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord." He gave it to Shaphan, who read it. Then Shaphan, the secretary, went to the king and reported it to him. "You officials have paid out the money that was in the temple of the Lord and have entrusted it to the workers and supervisors at the temple." Then Shaphan, the secretary, informed the king, "Hilkiah, the priest, has given me a book." And Shaphan read from it in the presence of the king. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his robes. He gave his orders to Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam son of Shaphan, Akbor son of Micaiah, Shaphan the secretary, and Isaiah the king's attendant. "Go and inquire of the Lord for me and for the people and for all Judah about what is written in this book that has been found. Great is the Lord's anger that burns against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the words of his book. They have not acted in accordance with all that is written there concerning us." Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam, Akbor, Shaphan, and Isaiah went to speak to the prophetess Huldah, who was the wife of Shallum, son of Tikvah, the son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. She lived in Jerusalem in the 2nd district. She said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Tell the man who sent you to me, This is what the Lord says. I am going to bring disaster on this place and its people, according to everything written in the book the king of Judah has read. Because they have forsaken me and burned incense to other gods and provoked me to anger by all the idols their hands have made, my anger will burn against this place and will not be quenched. Tell the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says concerning the words you heard, because your heart was responsive, and you humbled yourself before the Lord. When you heard what I have spoken against this place and its people, that they would become accursed and laid waste, and because you tore your robes and wept in my presence, I have heard you, declares the Lord. Therefore, I will gather you to your fathers, and you will be buried in peace. Your eyes will not see all the disaster I'm going to bring on this place. So they took her answer back to the king. Chapter 23. Then the king called together all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. He went up to the temple of the Lord with the men of Judah, the people of Jerusalem, the priests and the prophets, all the people. From the least to the greatest, he read in their hearing all the words of a book of a covenant, which had been found in the temple of the Lord. The king stood by the pillar and renewed the covenant in the presence of the Lord to follow the Lord and keep his commands, regulations, and decrees with all his heart and all his soul, thus confirming the words of a covenant written in this book. Then all the people pledged themselves to the covenant. The king ordered Hilkiah, the high priest, the priests next in rank, and the doorkeepers to remove from the temple of the Lord all the articles made for Baal and Asherah and all the starry hosts. He burned them outside Jerusalem in the fields of a Kidron valley and took the ashes to Bethel. He did away with the pagan priests appointed by the kings of Judah to burn incense on the high places of the towns of Judah and on those around Jerusalem, those who burned incense to Baal, to the sun and moon, to the constellations, and to all the starry host. He took the Asherah pole from the temple of the Lord to the Kidron valley outside Jerusalem and burned it there. He ground it to the powder and scattered the dust out of the graves of the common people. He also tore down the quarters of the male shrine prostitutes which were in the temple of the Lord and where women did weaving for Asherah. Josiah brought all the priests from the towns of Judah and desecrated the high places from Geba to Beersheba, where the priests had burned incense. He broke down the shrines at the gates, at the entrance to the gate of Joshua, the city governor, which is on the left of the city gate. Although the priests of the high places did not serve at the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, they ate unleavened bread with their fellow priests. He desecrated Topheth, which was in the valley of Ben Hinnom, so no one could use it to sacrifice his son or daughter in the fire of Molech. He removed from the entrance to the temple of the Lord the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun. They were in the court near the room of an official named Nathan Melech. Josiah then burned the chariots dedicated to the sun. He pulled down the altars the kings of Judah had erected on the roof near the upper room of Ahaz, and the altars Manasseh had built in the two courts of the temple of the Lord. He removed them from there, smashed them to pieces, and threw the rubble into the Kidron valley. The king also desecrated the high places that were east of Jerusalem on the south of a hill of corruption, the one Solomon, king of Israel, had built for Ashtaroth, the vile goddess of the Sidonians, for Chemosh, the vile god of Moab, and for Molech, the detestable god of the people of Ammon. Josiah smashed the sacred stones and cut down the Asherah poles and covered the sites of human bones. Even the altar at Bethel, the high places made by Jeroboam son of Nebat, who had caused Israel to sin, even that altar and high places he demolished. He burned the high place and ground it to powder and burned the Asherah pole also. Then Josiah looked around, and when he saw the tombs that were there on the hillside, he had the bones removed from them and burned on the altar to defile it, in accordance with the word of the Lord, proclaimed by the name of God who foretold these things. The king asked, "What is that tombstone I see?" The men of the city said, "It marks the tomb of a man of God who came from Judah and pronounced against the altar of Bethel the very things you have done to it." "Leave it alone," he said. "Don't let anyone disturb his bones." So they spared his bones and those of the prophet who had come from Samaria. Just as he had done at Bethel, Josiah removed and defiled all the shrines at the high places that the kings of Israel had built in the towns of Samaria that had provoked the Lord to anger. Josiah slaughtered all the priests of those high places on the altars and burned human bones on them. And he went back to Jerusalem. The king gave this order to all the people: "Celebrate the Passover to the Lord your God, as it is written in the book of a covenant. Not since the days of the judges who led Israel, nor throughout the days of the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah had any such Passover been observed. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, this Passover was celebrated to the Lord in Jerusalem." Furthermore, Josiah got rid of the mediums and spiritists, the household gods, the idols, and all the other detestable things seen in Judah and Jerusalem. This he did to fulfill the requirements of a law written in the book that Hilkiah the priest had discovered in the temple of the Lord. Neither before nor after Josiah was there a king like him who turned to the Lord as he did, with all his heart and with all his soul and with all his strength, in accordance with all the law of Moses. Nevertheless, the Lord did not turn away from the heat of his fierce anger, which burned against Judah because of all that Manasseh had done to provoke him to anger. So the Lord said, "I will remove Judah also from my presence as I removed Israel, and I will reject Jerusalem, the city I chose, and this temple about which I said, 'There shall my name be.'" So the other events of Josiah's reign and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? While Josiah was king, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up to the Euphrates River to help the king of Assyria. King Josiah marched out to meet him in battle, but Necho faced him and killed him at Megiddo. Josiah's servants brought his body in a chariot from Megiddo to Jerusalem and buried him in his tomb. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in place of his father. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name was Hamutal, daughter of Jeremiah. She was from Libnah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as his fathers had done. Pharaoh Necho put him in chains at Riblah in the land of Hamath, so that he might not reign in Jerusalem. And he imposed on Judah a levy of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, son of Josiah, king in place of his father Josiah, and changed Eliakim's name to Jehoiakim. But he took Jehoahaz and carried him off to Egypt, and there he died. Jehoiakim paid Pharaoh Necho the silver and gold he demanded. In order to do so, he taxed the land and exacted the silver and gold from the people of the land according to their assessments. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 11 years. His mother's name was Zebidah, daughter of Pedaiah. She was from Rumah. And he did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as his fathers had done. Chapter 24. During Jehoiakim's reign, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, invaded the land. And Jehoiakim became his vassal for 3 years. But then he changed his mind and rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar. The Lord sent Babylonian, Aramean, Moabite, and Ammonite raiders against him. He sent them to destroy Judah in accordance with the word of the Lord proclaimed by his servants, the prophets. Surely these things happened to Judah according to the Lord's command in order to remove him from his presence because of the sins of Manasseh and all he had done, including the shedding of innocent blood. For he had filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord was not willing to forgive. As for the other events of Jehoiakim's reign and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? Jehoiakim rested with his fathers, and Jehoiakim his son succeeded him as king. The king of Egypt did not march out from his own country again, because the king of Babylon had taken all his territory, from the Wadi of Egypt to the Euphrates River. Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name was Nehushta, daughter of Elnathan. She was from Jerusalem. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father had done. At that time, the officers of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, advanced on Jerusalem and laid siege to it. And Nebuchadnezzar himself came up to the city while his officers were besieging it. Jehoiakim, king of Judah, his mother, his attendants, his nobles, and his officials all surrendered to him. In the 8th year of the reign of a king of Babylon, he took Jehoiakim prisoner, as the Lord had declared. Nebuchadnezzar removed all the treasures from the temple of the Lord and from the royal palace, and took away all the gold articles that Solomon, king of Israel, had made for the temple of the Lord. He carried into exile all Jerusalem, all the officers and fighting men, and all the craftsmen and artisans, a total of 10,000. Only the poorest people of the land were left. Nebuchadnezzar took Jehoiakim captive to Babylon. He also took from Jerusalem to Babylon the king's mother, his wives, his officials, and the leading men of the land. The king of Babylon also deported to Babylon the entire force of 7,000 fighting men, strong and fit for war, and 1,000 craftsmen and artisans. He made Mattaniah, Jehoiakim's uncle, king in his place, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 11 years. His mother's name was Hamutal, daughter of Jeremiah. She was from Libnah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, just as Jehoiakim had done. It was because of the Lord's anger, and all this happened to Jerusalem and Judah, and in the end, he thrust them from his presence. Now Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. Chapter 25. So in the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, marched against Jerusalem with his whole army. He encamped outside the city and built siege works all around it. The city was kept under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. By the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine in the city had become so severe that there was no food for the people to eat. Then the city wall was broken through, and the whole army fled at night through the gate between the 2 walls near the king's garden, though the Babylonians were surrounding the city. They fled towards the Arabah, but the Babylonian army pursued the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. All his soldiers were separated from him and scattered, and he was captured. He was taken to the king of Babylon at Riblah, where sentence was pronounced on him. They killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. Then they put out his eyes, bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babylon. On the 7th day of the 5th month, in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard and an official of the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. He set fire to the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Every important building he burned down. The whole Babylonian army, under the commander of the imperial guard, broke down the walls around Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, the commander of the guard, carried into exile the people who remained in the city, along with the rest of the populace and those who had gone over to the king of Babylon. But the commander left behind some of the poorest people of the land to work the vineyards and fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars, the movable stands, and the bronze sea that were at the temple of the Lord, and they carried the bronze to Babylon. They also took away the pots, shovels, wick trimmers, dishes, and all the bronze articles used in the temple service. The commander of the imperial guard took away the censers and sprinkling bowls, all that were made of pure gold or silver. The bronze from the two pillars, the sea, and the movable stands which Solomon had made for the temple of the Lord was more than could be weighed. Each pillar was 27 feet high. The bronze capital on top of one pillar was 4.5 feet high and was decorated with a network and pomegranates of bronze all around. The other pillar with its network was similar. The commander of a guard took as prisoners Seraiah the chief priest, Zephaniah the priest next in rank, and the 3 doorkeepers. Of those still in the city, he took the officer in charge of a fighting man and 5 royal advisors. He also took the secretary who was chief officer in charge of conscripting the people of the land and 60 of his men who were found in the city. Nebuzaradan, the commander, took them all and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. There at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, the king had them executed. So Judah went into captivity, away from her land. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, to be over the people he had left behind in Judah. When all the army officers and their men heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah as governor, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah. Ishmael, son of Nephaniah, Jehonan, son of Kareah, Seraiah, son of Tehumeth, the Netophathite, Jezaniah, the son of a Maacathite, and their men. Gedaliah took an oath to reassure them and their men. "Do not be afraid of the Babylonian officials," he said. "Settle down in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it will go well with you." In the 7th month, however, Ishmael, son of Nephaniah, the son of Elishama, who was of royal blood, came with 10 men and assassinated Gedaliah, and also the men of Judah and the Babylonians who were with him at Mizpah. At this, all the people from the least to the greatest, together with the army officers, fled to Egypt for fear of the Babylonians. In the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, in the year Evil-Merodach became king of Babylon, he released Jehoiakim from prison on the 27th day of the 12th month. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat of honor and higher than those of the other kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiakim put aside his prison clothes and for the rest of his life ate regularly at the king's table. Day by day, the king gave Jehoiakim a regular allowance as long as he lived. 1 Chronicles. Chapter 1. Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittim, and the Rodanim. The sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteka. The sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod, who grew to be a mighty warrior on earth. Mizraim was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphtuhites, Patrusites, Casluhites, from whom the Philistines came, and Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. The sons of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gapher, and Meshach. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almodad, Shelepheth, Hazarmeth, Jera, Hadoram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were sons of Joktan. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abram, that is Abraham. The sons of Abraham, Isaac and Ishmael. These were their descendants: Neboath, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Abdil, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael. The sons born to Keturah, Abraham's concubine: Zimran, Jokshan, Median, Ishbak, and Shua. The sons of Jokshan, Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Median, Epha, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were descendants of Keturah. Abraham was the father of Isaac. The sons of Isaac, Esau and Israel. The sons of Esau, Eliphaz, Reuel, Joash, Jalam, and Korah. The sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz by Timnah, Hamalek. The sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. The sons of Ser, Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. The sons of Lotan, Hori, and Homam. Timnah was Lotan's sister. The sons of Shobal, Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. The sons of Zibeon, Aya, and Anna. The son of Anna, Dishon. The sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ephran, and Keran. The sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zaavan, and Akan. The sons of Dishan, Uz, and Aaron. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Bela, son of Beor, whose city was named Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah, from Bozrah, succeeded him as king. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of Timonites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah from Masrekah succeeded him as king. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth on the river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. When Baal Hanan died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city was named Pau, and his wife's name was Mehatabel, daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mizahab. Hadad also died. The chiefs of Edom were Timnah, Alva, Japheth, Oholibamah, Elah, Pinion, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom. These were, chapter 2, these were the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. The sons of Judah, Onan, and Shelah. These 3 were born to him by a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua. Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Tamar, Judah's daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zerah. Judah had 5 sons in all. The sons of Perez, Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Zerah, Zimri, Iphan, Heman, Kalkol, and Darda, 5 in all. The son of Carmi, Achar, who brought trouble on Israel by violating the ban on taking devoted things. The son of Iphan, Azariah. The sons born to Hezron were Jerahmeel, Ram, and Caleb. Ram was the father of Aminadab, and Aminadab the father of Nahshon, the leader of a people of Judah. Nahshon was the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, Boaz the father of Obed, and Obed the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of Eliab, his firstborn. The second son was Abinadab, the third Shimea, the fourth Nathaniel, the fifth Radai, the sixth Ozem, and the seventh David. The sisters were Zuriah and Abigail. Zuriah's 3 sons were Abishai, Joab, and Azael. Abigail was the mother of Amasa, whose father was Jephthah the Ishmaelite. Caleb, son of Hezron, had children by his wife Azubah and by Jerioth. These were her sons, Jeshur, Shobab, and Ardon. When Azubah died, Caleb married Ephrath, who bore him Hur. Hur was the father of Uri, and Uri the father of Bezalel. Later, Hezron lay with the daughter of Machir, the father of Gilead. He had married her when he was 60 years old, and she bore him Segub. Segub was the father of Jair, who controlled 23 towns in Gilead. But Geshur and Aram captured Havoth Jair, as well as Kenath with its surrounding settlements, 60 towns. All these were descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. After Hezron died and Caleb Ephrathah, Abijah, the wife of Hezron, bore him Ashur, the father of Tekoa. So the sons of Jerahmeel, the firstborn of Hezron, Ram his firstborn, Bunah, Oren, Ozem, and Ahijah. Jerahmeel had another wife whose name was Atarah. She was the mother of Onam. The sons of Ram, the firstborn of Jerahmeel, Maaz, Jamin, and Eker. The sons of Onam, Shammai and Jada. The sons of Shammai, Nadab and Abishur. Abishur's wife was named Abihail, who bore him Achban and Molid. The sons of Nadab, Seled and Ephraim. Seled died without children. The son of Ephraim, Ishi, who was the father of Sheshan. Sheshan was the father of Achlai. The sons of Jada, Shammai's brother, Jepher and Jonathan. Jepher died without children. The sons of Jonathan, Peleth and Zaza. These were the descendants of Jerahmeel. Sheshan had no sons, only daughters. He had an Egyptian servant named Jarah. Sheshan gave his daughter in marriage to his servant Jarah, and she bore him Attai. Attai was the father of Nathan, Nathan the father of Zabad, Zabad the father of Ephlal, Ephlal the father of Obed, Obed the father of Jehu, Jehu the father of Zariah, Azariah the father of Heles, Heles the father of Elisa, Elisa the father of Sismai, Sismai the father of Shalom, Shalom the father of Jechamiah, and Jechamiah the father of Elishama. The sons of Caleb, the brother of Jerahmeel, Mesha, his firstborn, was the father of Ziph, and his son Marisha, who was the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron, Korah, Tapua, Rechem, and Shema. Shema was the father of Raham, and Raham the father of Jorkim. Rechem was the father of Shammai. The son of Shammai was Maon, and Maon was the father of Bethzur. Caleb's concubine Ephah was the mother of Haran, Moza, and Gazez. Haran was the father of Gazez. The sons of Jadai, Regem, Jopham, Geshan, Peled, Ephah, and Shaph. Caleb's concubine Maacah was the mother of Sheber and Tirhana. She also gave birth to Shaph, the father of Madmenah, and to Shiva, the father of Machbenah and Gibeah. Caleb's daughter was Aksam. These were the descendants of Caleb. The sons of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, Shobal, the father of Kiriath Jearim, Salma, the father of Bethlehem, and Harev, the father of Beth-Gader. The descendants of Shobal, the father of Kiriath Jearim, were Harov, Haphama, and Ahathites, and the clans of Kiriath Jearim, the Ithrites, Puphrites, Shumathites, and Mizraites. From these descendants, the Zorophites and Eshtalites. The descendants of Salma, Bethlehem, the Natophites, Arov, Beth, Joab, Hapham, and Ahathites, the Zorites, and the clans of scribes who lived at Jebez, the Tirathites, Shemathites, and Sukathites. These are the Kenites who came from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. These were the sons of David born to him in Hebron. And that's chapter 3. The firstborn was Amnon, the son of Ahinoam of Jezreel. The second, Daniel, the son of Abigail of Carmel. The third, Absalom, the son of Maacah, daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth, Adonijah, the son of Haggith. The fifth, Shephatiah, the son of Abital. And the sixth, Ephraim, by his wife Eglah. These six were born to David in Hebron, where he reigned 7 years and 6 months. David reigned in Jerusalem 33 years, and these were the children born to him there: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. These four were by Bathsheba, daughter of Amiel. There were also Ibhar, Elishua, Eliphalet, Nogan, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphalet, 9 in all. All these were the sons of David, besides his sons by his concubines, and Tamar was their sister. Solomon's son was Rehoboam, Abijah his son, Ahazah his son, Jehoshaphat his son, Jehoram his son, Ahaziah his son, Joash his son, Amaziah his son, Azariah his son, Jotham his son, Ahaz his son, Hezekiah his son, Manasseh his son, Amon his son, Josiah his son. The sons of Josiah, Johanan the firstborn, Jehoiakim the second son, Zedekiah the third, Shallum the fourth. The successors of Jehoiakim his son, and Zedekiah. The descendants of Jehoiakim the captive, Shealtiel his son, Malkiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jechamiah, Hoshama, Nebadiah. The sons of Pedaiah, Zerubbabel and Shimei. The sons of Zerubbabel, Meshullam and Hananiah. Shelomith was their sister. There were also 5 others, Hashubah, Ohel, Berechiah, Hezadiah, and Jushab, Hezed. The descendants of Hananiah, Pelatiah, and Jeshaiah, and the sons of Rephaiah, of Arnan, of Abadiah, and of Shechaniah. The descendants of Shechaniah, Shemaiah and his sons, Hattush, Igal, Bariah, Neriah, and Shaphat, 6 in all. The sons of Neriah, Elionai, Hisca, and Azrikam, 3 in all. The sons of Elionai, Hodaviah, Eliashib, Beliah, Akab, Johanan, Deliah, and Anani, 7 in all. Chapter 4. The descendants of Judah, Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Reiah, son of Shobal, was the father of Johav, and Jehav, and Jehav the father of Ahomai and Lahad. These were the clans of the Zorathites. These were the sons of Etam, Jezreel, Ishman, Idbash. Their sister was named Hazelelponi. Penuel was the father of Gedor, and Ezer the father of Husha. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah and father of Bethlehem. Ashur, the father of Tekoa, had 2 wives, Hela and Nera. Nera bore him Ahuzam, Hefer, and Temani, and Hashashtari. These were the descendants of Nera. The sons of Hela, Zereth, Zohar, Ephan, and Koz, who was the father of Anub and Hazobeh, and of the clans of Aharhel, son of Harum. Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, I gave birth to him in pain. Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. And God granted his request. Caleb, Shuha's brothers, was the father of Meher, who was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Beth Rapha, Paseah, and Tehinah, the father of Ir Nahash. These were the men of Rekha. The sons of Kenaz, Ophniel and Sariah. The sons of Ophniel, Hathaf and Menothai. Menothai was the father of Ophra. Sariah was the father of Joab, and the father of Gerharshim. It was called this because its people were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, son of Jephunneh, Eru, Elah, Hanaim, son of Elah, Kenaz. The sons of Jehalaleel, Zeph, Ziphna, Tiri, and Asarel. The sons of Izrah, Jepher, Mered, Ephер, and Jalom. One of Mered's wives gave birth to Miriam, Shammai, and Ishba, the father of Eshtemoa. His Judean wife gave birth to Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Soko, and Jekuthiel, the father of Zanoah. These were the children of Pharaoh's daughter Bithia, whom Mered had married. The sons of Hodiah's wife, a sister of Nahum, the father of Keilah, the Garmite, and Eshtemoa, the Maacathite. The sons of Shimon, Amon, Rina, Ben-Hanan, and Tilo. The descendants of Ishi, Zoheb, and Ben-Zoheb. The sons of Shelah, son of Judah. The father of Leka, Laada, the father of Maresha, and the clans of the linen workers of Beth-Hashbeh. Joachim, the men of Goseba, and Joash and Saraph, who ruled in Moab, and Jashubilehem. These words are from ancient times. They were the potters who lived at Netaim and Gedera. They stayed there and worked for the king. The descendants of Simeon, Nemuel, Jamin, Jarib, Zerah, and Shaul. Shalom was Shaul's son, Mibsam his son, and Mishma his son. The descendants of Mishma, Hamuel his son, Zakur his son, and Shimei his son. Shimei had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brothers did not have many children, so their entire clan did not become as numerous as the people of Judah. They lived in Beersheba, Moladah, Hazar, Shual, Bilhah, Ezem, Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazer, Susim, Bethbiri, and Sharaim. These were their towns until the reign of David. The surrounding villages were Etam, Ain, Rimon, Token, and Ashan, 5 towns, and all the villages around these towns as far as Baalath. These were their settlements, and they kept a genealogical record. Meshobab, Jamlech, Joshan, son of Amaziah, Joel, Jehu, son of Joshbiah, the son of Seraiah, the son of Aziel. Also Elione, Jacobab, Jeshoiah, Asaiah, Adiel, Jismiel, Benaiah, and Ziza, son of Shipni, the son of Elon, the son of Jediah, the son of Shimri, the son of Shemaiah. The men listed above the name were leaders of their clans. Their families increased greatly, and they went to the outskirts of Gedor to the east of the valley in search of a pasture for the flocks. They found rich, good pasture, and the land was spacious, peaceful, and quiet. Some Hamites had lived there formerly. The men whose names were listed came in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah. They attacked the Hamites and their dwellings, and also the Meunites who were there, and completely destroyed them, as is evident to this day. Then they settled in their place, because there was pasture for their flocks. And 500 of these Simeonites, led by Pelathiah, Neriah, Rephaiah, and Uziel, the sons of Ishi, invaded the hill country of Seir. They killed the remaining Amalekites who had escaped, and they have lived there to this day. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, he was the firstborn, but when he defiled his father's marriage bed, his rights as firstborn were given to the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. Now that's chapter 5 now. So he could not be listed in the genealogical record in accordance with his birthright. And though Judah was the strongest of his brothers and the ruler came from him, the rights of a firstborn belonged to Joseph. So the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanoch, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The descendants of Joel, Shemaiah, his son, Gog, his son, Shimei, his son, Micah, his son, Reiah, his son, Baal, his son, and Bera, his son, whom Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, took into exile. Beera was a leader of the Reubenites. Their relatives by clans listed according to the genealogical records. Jael, the chief, Zechariah, and Bela, son of Azaz, the son of Shema, the son of Joel, they settled in the area from Aroer to Nebo and Baal Meon. To the east, they occupied the land up at the edge of a desert that extends to the Euphrates River, because their livestock had increased in Gilead. During Saul's reign, they waged war against the Hagrites, who were defeated at their hands. They occupied the dwellings of the Hagrites throughout the entire region east of Gilead. The Gadites lived next to them in Bashan, as far as Salika. Joel was the chief, Shaphan the second, and then Jenai and Shaphat and Bashan. Their relatives by families were Michael, Meshulam, Sheba, Jorai, Jachin, Zea, and Eber, 7 in all. These were the sons of Abihail, son of Huri, the son of Jeroah, the son of Gilead, the son of Michael, the son of Jeshishai, the son of Jadu, and the son of Buz. Ahai, son of Abdiel, the son of Guni, was head of that family. The Gadites lived in Gilead and Bashan and its outlying villages and in all the pastoral lands of Sharon as far as they extended. All these were entered in the genealogical records during the reigns of Jotham, king of Judah, and Jeroboam, king of Israel. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 men ready for military service, able-bodied men who could handle the shield and sword, who could use a bow, and who were trained for battle. They waged war against the Hagrites, Jetur, Nephish, and Nodab. They were helped in fighting them, and God handed the Hagrites and all their allies over to them because they cried out to him during the battle. He answered their prayers because they trusted in him. They seized the livestock of the Hagrites, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also took 100,000 people captive. And many others fell slain because the battle was God's, and they occupied the land until the exile. The people of a half-tribe of Manasseh were numerous. They settled in the land from Bashan to Baal Hermon, that is to Senir, Mount Hermon. These were the heads of their families: Epher, Ishi, Eliel, Israel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jadiel. They were brave warriors, famous men, and heads of their families. But they were unfaithful to the God of their fathers and prostituted themselves to the gods of the peoples of a land whom God had destroyed before them. So the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, that is Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, who took the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh into exile. He took them to Hala, Habor, Hara, and the river of Gozan, where they are to this day. Okay, I like that. God of Israel stirred up the spirit. It's very interesting. But they were unfaithful to God. That's also very good. Even though they were brave warriors, famous men, and heads of their families. But they were unfaithful. So, chapter 6. The sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Kohath: Amram, Ishar, Hebron, and Uziel. The children of Amram: Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. The sons of Aaron: Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Eleazar was the father of Phinehas, Phinehas the father of Abishua, Abishua the father of Bukki, Bukki the father of Uzi, Uzi the father of Zariah, Zariah the father of Mariah, Mariah the father of Mariah, Mariah the father of Ahitab, Ahitab the father of Zadok, Zadok the father of Ahimaaz, Ahimaaz the father of Zariah, Zariah the father of Johanan, Johanan the father of Azariah. It was he who served as priest in the temple Solomon built in Jerusalem. Johanna, yeah, let's make sure we... Azariah the father of Mariah, Mariah the father of Ahitab, Ahitab the father of Zadok, Zadok the father of Shallum, Shallum the father of Hilkiah, Hilkiah the father of Azariah, Azariah the father of Sariah, and Sariah the father of Jehozadak. Jehozadak was deported when the Lord sent Judah and Jerusalem into exile by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, let's check that out too. The sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. These are the names of the sons of Gershon: Libni and Shimei. The sons of Kohath: Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The sons of Merari: Mali and Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites listed according to their fathers. Of Gershon: Libni his son, Jehath his son, Zimah his son, Joah his son, Edo his son, Zerah his son, and Jepherai his son. The descendants of Kohath: Aminadab his son, Korah his son, Aser his son, Elkanah his son, Abiasaph his son, Aser his son, Tahath his son, Uriel his son, Uzziah his son, and Shaul his son. The descendants of Elkanah: Amasai, Ahimoth, Elkanah his son, Zophai his son, Nahath his son, Eliab his son, Joram his son, Elkanah his son, and Samuel his son. The sons of Samuel: Joel the firstborn, and Abijah the second son. The descendants of Merari: Mali, Libni his son, Shimei his son, Uzzah his son, Shimei his son, Hegiav his son, and Uzziah his son. These are the men David put in charge of the music in the house of the Lord after the ark came to rest there. They ministered with music before the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, until Solomon built the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem. They performed their duties according to the regulations laid down for them. Here are the men who served together with their sons. From the Kohathites: Heman the musician, the son of Joel, the son of Samuel, the son of Elkanah, the son of Joram, the son of Eliel, the son of Toah, the son of Zuph, the son of Elkanah, the son of Mahath, the son of Amasai, the son of Elkanah, the son of Joel, the son of Azariah, the son of Zephaniah, the son of Tahath, the son of Asir, the son of Abiasaph, the son of Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, the son of Israel. And the Heman's associate Asaph, who served at his right hand: Asaph, son of Berechiah, the son of Shimei, the son of Michael, the son of Beziah, the son of Malchijah, the son of Ephni, the son of Zerah, the son of Adiah, the son of Ephon, the son of Zimmah, the son of Shimei, the son of Jehav, the son of Gershon, the son of Levi. And from the associates, the Merarites, at his left hand: Ephon, son of Kishi, the son of Abdi, the son of Maluch, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Amaziah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Amzi, the son of Bani, the son of Shemer, the son of Mali, the son of Mushi, the son of Merari, the son of Levi. Now their fellow Levites were assigned to all the other duties of the tabernacle, the house of God. But Aaron and his descendants were the ones who presented the offerings on the altar of burnt offering and on the altar of incense in connection with all that was done in the most holy place, making atonement for Israel in accordance with all that Moses, the servant of God, had commanded. These were the descendants of Aaron: Eleazar his son, Phinehas his son, Abishua his son, Buki his son, Uzi his son, Zariah his son, Meraioth his son, Amariah his son, Ahitub his son, Zadok his son, and Ahimaaz his son. These were the locations of their settlements allotted as their territory. They were assigned to the descendants of Aaron, who were from the Kohathite clan, because the first lot was for them. They were given Hebron in Judah with its surrounding pastoral lands, but the fields and villages around the city were given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. So the descendants of Aaron were given Hebron, a city of refuge, and Libnah, Jatir, Eshtimo, Helion, Debir, Eshan, Judah, and Beth Shemesh, together with their pastoral lands. And from the tribe of Benjamin they were given Gibeon, Geba, Alameth, and Anathoth, together with their pastoral lands. These towns, which were distributed among the Kohathite clans, were 13 in all. The rest of the Kohath descendants were allotted 10 towns from the clans of half the tribe of Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon clan by clan were allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Issachar, Asher, and Naphtali, and from the part of the tribe of Manasseh that is in the Bashan. The descendants of Merari clan by clan were allotted 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites gave the Levites these towns and their pastoral lands. From the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin, they allotted the previously named towns. Some of the Kohathite clans were given as their territory towns from the tribe of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim, they were given Shechem, a city of refuge, and Gezer, Jokmeam, Beth Horon, Aijalon, and Gath Rimmon, together with their pastoral land. And from half the tribe of Manasseh, the Israelites gave Aner and Bileam, together with their pastoral lands, to the rest of the Kohathite clans. The Gershonites received the following from the clan of the half-tribe of Manasseh. They received Golan and Bashan and also Ashtaroth together with their pastoral lands. From the tribe of Issachar they received Kadesh, Daberath, Ramoth, and Anam together with their pastoral lands. From the tribe of Asher they received Meshal, Abdon, Hukok, and Herehob together with their pastoral lands. And from the tribe of Naphtali they received Kadesh and Galilee, Hamam, and Kiriathim together with their pastoral lands. The Merarites, the rest of the Levites, received the following from the tribe of Zebulun. They received Jokneam, Kartaph, Rimona, and Tabor together with their pastoral lands. From the tribe of Reuben across the Jordan east of Jericho they received Bezer in the desert, Jasa, Kedemoth, and Nephath together with their pastoral lands. And from the tribe of Gad they received Ramoth and Gilead, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer together with their pastoral lands. Chapter 7. The sons of Issachar, Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron, 4 in all. The sons of Tola, Uzai, Rephiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Ibsam, and Samuel. Heads of their families during the reign of David, the descendants of Tola listed as fighting men in their genealogy numbered 22,600. The son of Uzai, Israel, the sons of Israel, Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. All 5 of them were chiefs. According to their family genealogy, they had 36,000 men ready for battle, for they had many wives and children. The relatives who were fighting men belonging to all the clans of Issachar as listed in their genealogy were 87,000 in all. 3 sons of Benjamin, Bela, Becher, and Jediel. The sons of Bela, Esbon, Uziel, Jerimoth, and Eri, heads of families, 5 in all. The genealogical record listed 22,034 fighting men. The sons of Becher, Jemira, Joash, Eleazar, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anaphoth, and Elameth. All these were the sons of Becher. Their genealogical record listed the heads of families and 20,200 fighting men. Now, the sons of Jediel, Bilhan, the sons of Bilhan, Joash, Benjamin, Yehud, Kenana, Zephan, Tarshish, and Ahishahar. All these sons of Jediel were heads of families. They were 17,200 fighting men ready to go out to war. The Shuppites and Huppites were the descendants of Er, and the Hushites the descendants of Aher. The sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem, the descendants of Bilhah. The descendants of Manasseh, Azriel was his descendant through his Aramean concubine. She gave birth to Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir took a wife from among the Huppites and Shuppites. His sister's name was Maacah. Another descendant was named Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife Maacah gave birth to a son and named him Peresh. His brother was named Sheresh, and his sons were Ulam and Rakem. The son of Ulam is Bedan. These were the sons of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. His sister Hamalaketh gave birth to Ishhod, Abiezer, and Mala. The sons of Shemida were Ahah, Shechem, Lehi, and Anya. The descendants of Ephraim, Shuthelah, Beret, his son, Tahav, his son, Elida, his son, Tahav, his son, Zabad, his son, and Shuthelah, his son. Ezer and Eliad were killed by the native-born men of Gath when they went down to seize their livestock. Their father Ephraim mourned for them many days, and his relatives came to comfort him. Then he lay with his wife again, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. He named him Beriah because there had been misfortune in his family. His daughter was Shira, who built lower and upper Beth Horon, as well as Uzan Shira. Ripha was his son, Resheph his son, Telah his son, Tahan his son, Ladan his son, Amihud his son, Elishama his son, Nun his son, and Joshua his son. Their lands and settlements included Bethel and its surrounding villages, Naaran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its villages all the way to Aya and its villages. Along the borders of Manasseh were Beth Shan, Taanach, Megiddo, and Dor, together with their villages. The descendants of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. The sons of Asher, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. Their sister was Sarah. The sons of Beriah, Heber and Malkiel, who was the father of Berzaev. Heber was the father of Japhlet, Shomer, and Hopham of their sister Shua. The sons of Japhlet, Pasak, Bimnal, and Ashvav. These were Japhlet's sons. The sons of Shomer, Ahir, Rogan, Reuben, and Aram. The sons of his brother Halem, Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. The sons of Zophah, Sua, Harnepher, Shual, Beri, Imra. Bezerhad, Shema, Shishlash, Ephran, and Beera. The sons of Jephthah, Jephunneh, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Ulah, Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. All these were descendants of Asher, heads of families, choice men, brave warriors, and outstanding leaders. The number of men ready for battle, as listed in their genealogy, was 26,000. Chapter 8. Benjamin was the father of Bela, his firstborn. Ashbel, the second son, Ara, the third, Noah, the fourth, and Rapha, the fifth. The sons of Bela were Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoa, Gera, Shephopham, and Hurah. These were the descendants of Ehud, who were heads of families, of those living in Geba and were deported to Manahath. Naaman, Ahijah, and Gera, who deported them, who was the father of Uzzah and Ahihud. Sons were born to Shaharaim in Moab, after he had divorced his wife Hushim and Bara. By his wife Hodesh, he had Jobab, Zibiah, Mesha, Malcham, Jouz, Sakia, and Mirma. These were his sons' heads of families. By Hushim, he had Abitub and Elpaal. The sons of Elpaal, Eber, Misham, Shemer, who built Ono and Lod with its surrounding villages, and Beriah and Shema, who were heads of families of those living in Aijalon and who drove out the inhabitants of Gath. Ahio, Shashak, Jeremoth, Zebediah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, and Joha were the sons of Beriah. Zebediah, Meshullam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Isliah, and Jobab were the sons of Elpaal. Jakim, Zikri, Zabdi, Elianai, Ziliphi, Eliel, Adaiah, Beriah, and Shimrai were the sons of Shimei. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Anthothijah, Ephdeiah, and Penuel were the sons of Shashak. Shamshirai, Sheariah, Aphaliah, Jairishia, Elijah, and Zikri were the sons of Jeroam. All these were heads of families, chiefs as listed in the genealogy, and they lived in Jerusalem. Jael, the father of Gibeon, lived in Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, and his firstborn son was Abdon, followed by Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab. Gedor, Ahio, Zechar, and Mikloth, who was the father of Shimei, they too lived near their relatives in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish, Kish the father of Saul, and Saul the father of Jonathan. Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. The son of Jonathan married Baal, who was the father of Micah. The sons of Micah, Pyphon, Melech, Tare, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Jehoiada. Jehoiada was the father of Alemeth, Azmaveth, and Zimri. And Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza was the father of Binea. Rapha was his son, Eliasah his son, and Azel his son. Azel had 6 sons, and these were their names: Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were the sons of Azel, and the sons of his brother Eshek, Ulam, his firstborn, Jeush, the second son, Eliaphel, the third. The sons of Ulam were brave warriors who could handle the bow. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 in all. All these were the descendants of Benjamin. All Israel was listed in the genealogies recorded in the book of the kings of Israel. That's chapter 9. So the people of Judah were taken captive to Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. And we need to highlight that. Now, the first to resettle on their own property in their own towns were some Israelites, priests, Levites, and temple servants. Those from Judah, from Benjamin, and from Ephraim and Manasseh who lived in Jerusalem were Uphai, son of Amihud, the son of Omri, the son of Imri, the son of Bani, a descendant of Perez, son of Judah. Of the Shilonites, Uzziah, the firstborn, and his son. Of the Zerahites, Joel. The people from Judah numbered 690 people. Of the Benjamites, Salu, son of Meshulam, the son of Hodaviah, the son of Hasenua, Abner, son of Jeroam, Elah, son of Uzi, the son of Mikri, Meshulam, son of Shephatiah, the son of Reuel, the son of Ibnijah. The people from Benjamin is listed in their genealogy numbered 956. All these men were heads of their families. Of a priest, Jediah, Joariah, Bejakin, Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshulam, the son of Zadok, the son of Meriah, the son of Ahitub, the official in charge of a house of God. Adiah, son of Jeroam, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchijah, and Messiah, son of Abdiel, the son of Jazreah, the son of Meshulam, the son of Deshulamith, the son of Immer. The priests who were heads of families numbered 1,760. They were able men responsible for ministering in the house of God. Of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashab, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashbiah, and Merarite. Bakar, Heresh, Galal, and Mattaniah, son of Micah, the son of Zikri, the son of Asaph, Abadiah, son of Shemaiah, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, son of Asa, the son of Elkanah, who lived in the villages of the Netophathites. The gatekeepers, Shallum, Akab, Talmon, Ahiman, and their brothers, Shallum their chief being stationed at the king's gate on the east up to the present time. These were the gatekeepers belonging to the camp of the Levites. Shallum, son of Kor, the son of Ebiasaph, the son of Korah, and his fellow gatekeepers from his family. The Korites were responsible for guarding the threshold of a tent, just as their fathers had been responsible for guarding the entrance to the dwelling of the Lord. In earlier times, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, was in charge of the gatekeepers, and the Lord was with him. Zechariah, son of Meshullam, was the gatekeeper at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Altogether, those chosen to be gatekeepers at the threshold numbered 212. They were registered by genealogy in their villages. The gatekeepers had been assigned to their positions of trust by David and Samuel the seer. They and their descendants were in charge of guarding the gates of the house of the Lord. The house called the tent, the gatekeepers were on the 4 sides, east, west, north, and south. The brothers in their villages had to come from time to time and share their duties of 7-day period. But the 4 principal gatekeepers who were Levites were entrusted with the responsibility for the rooms and treasuries in the house of God. They would spend the night stationed around the house of God because they had to guard it, and they had charge of the key for opening it each morning. Some of them were in charge of articles used in the temple service. They counted them when they were brought in and when they were taken out. Others were assigned to take care of furnishings and all the other articles of the sanctuary, as well as the flour and wine and the oil, incense, and spices. But some of the priests took care of mixing the spices. A Levite named Mattathiah, the firstborn son of Shallum the Korahite, was entrusted with the responsibility for baking the offering bread. Some of their Kohathite brothers were in charge of preparing for every Sabbath the bread set out on the table. Those who were musicians, heads of Levite families, stayed in the rooms of the temple and were exempt from other duties because they were responsible for the work day and night. All these were heads of Levite families, chiefs as listed in the genealogy, and they lived in Jerusalem. Jael, the father of Gibeon, lived in Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, and his firstborn son was Abdon, followed by Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth was the father of Shimea. They lived near their relatives in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish, Kish the father of Saul, and Saul the father of Jonathan. Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. The son of Jonathan, Meribaal, who was the father of Micah. The sons of Micah, Python, Melech, Tare, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Zada. Jada was the father of Alemeth. Asmapheth and Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza was the father of Binea. Rephaiah was his son. Eleazar his son, and Azel his son. Azel had 6 sons, and these were their names: Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Chapter 10. Now, the Philistines fought against Israel. The Israelites fled before them, and many fell slain on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines pressed hard after Saul and his sons, and they killed his sons Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua. The fighting grew fierce around Saul, and when the archers overtook him, they wounded him. Saul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and run me through, or these uncircumcised fellows will come and abuse me." But his armor-bearer was terrified and would not do it, so Saul took his own sword and fell on it. When the armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he too fell on his sword and died. So Saul and his 3 sons died, and all his house died together. When all the Israelites in the valley saw that the army had fled and that Saul and his sons had died, they abandoned their towns and fled, and the Philistines came and occupied them. The next day, when the Philistines came to strip the dead, they found Saul and his sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. They stripped him and took his head and his armor, and sent messengers throughout the land of the Philistines to proclaim the news among their idols and their people. They put his armor in the temple of their gods and hung up his head in the temple of Dagon. When all the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of everything the Philistines had done to Saul, all their valiant men went and took the bodies of Saul and his sons and brought them to Jabesh. Then they buried their bones under the great tree in Jabesh, and they fasted 7 days. Saul died because he was unfaithful to the Lord. He did not keep the word of the Lord, and even consulted a medium for guidance, and did not inquire of the Lord. So the Lord put him to death and turned the kingdom over to David, son of Jesse. Chapter 11. All Israel came together to David at Hebron and said, "We are your own flesh and blood. In the past, even while Saul was king, you were the one who led Israel in their military campaigns. And the Lord your God said to you, 'You will shepherd my people, Israel, and you will become their ruler.'" When all the elders of Israel had come to King David at Hebron, he made a compact with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David, king of Israel, as the Lord had promised through Samuel. David and all the Israelites marched to Jerusalem, that is Jebus. The Jebusites who lived there said to David, "You will not get in here." Nevertheless, David captured the fortress of Zion, the city of David. David had said, "Whoever leads the attack on the Jebusite will become commander-in-chief." Job, son of Zeruiah, went up first, and so he received the command. David then took up residence in the fortress, and so it was called the City of David. He built up the city around it from the supporting terraces to the surrounding wall, while Job restored the rest of the city, and David became more and more powerful because the Lord Almighty was with him. These were the chiefs of David's mighty men. They, together with all Israel, gave his kingship strong support to extend it over the whole land, as the Lord had promised. This is the list of David's mighty men. Jeshobeam, a Hakmonite, was chief of the officers. He raised his spear against 300 men, whom he killed in one encounter. Next to him was Eleazar, son of Dodai, the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men. He was with David at Pas Damim when the Philistines gathered there for battle. At a place where there was a field full of barley, the troops fled from the Philistines, but they took their stand in the middle of a field. They defended it and struck the Philistines down, and the Lord brought about a great victory. 3 of the 30 chiefs came down to David to the rock at the cave of Adullam, while a band of Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David longed for water and said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So the three broke through the Philistines' lines, drew water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. But he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out before the Lord. "God forbid that I should do this," he said. "Should I drink the blood of these men who went at the risk of their lives? Because they risked their lives to bring it back, David would not drink it." Such were the exploits of the three mighty men. Abishai, the brother of Joab, was chief of the three. He raised his spear against 300 men, whom he killed, and so he became as famous as the three. He was doubly honored above the three, became their commander, even though he was not included among them. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was a valiant fighter from Kabzeel who performed great exploits. He struck down 2 of Moab's best men. He also went down into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion. And he struck down an Egyptian who was 7.5 feet tall. Although the Egyptian had a spear like a weaver's rod in his hand, Benaiah went against him with a club. He snatched the spear from the Egyptian's hand and killed him with his own spear. Such were the exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, that he too was as famous as the three mighty men. He was held in greater honor than any of the 30, but he was not included among the three. And David put him in charge of his bodyguard. The mighty men were Asahel, the brother of Joab, Elhanan, son of Dodo from Bethlehem, Shamoth, the Harorite, Helez, the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikesh from Tekoa, Abiazar from Anaphoth, Sibbecai, the Hushathite, Eli, the Ahohite, Marai, the Netophite, Heled, son of Ben of a Netophite, Ephi, son of Ribai from Gibeah and Benjamin, Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hurai from ravines and of Gash, Abiel the Arabhites, Asmaveth the Baharumite, Eliahba and Shalbonite, the sons of Hashem the Gizonite, Jonathan son of Shagi, the Hararite, Ahiam son of Issachar the Hararite, Eliphal son of Hefer the Mecharaphite, Ahijah the Pelonite, Hezro the Carmelite, Narai son of Ezbai, Joel the brother of Nathan, Mibhar son of Hagri, Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai the Berophite, the Amor bearer of Job, son of Zeruiah, Ira the Ephraite, Kerub the Ephraite, Uriah the Hittite, Zabud son of Ali, Adina son of Shiza the Reubenite, who was chief of the Reubenites, and the 30 with him, Hanan son of Maacah, Joshaphat the Mithnite, Uzziah the Ashtarite, Shammah and Jael the son of Hopham and Arorite, Jediel son of Shimri, his brother Joha the Tizite, Eliel the Mahavite, Jerubai the Joshavite, Dia the sons of Elnam, Ifma and the Moabite, Eliel, Obed, and Jeziel the Mozabite. Chapter 12. These were the men who came to David at Ziklag, while he was banished from the presence of Saul, son of Kish. They were among the warriors who helped him in battle. They were armed with bows and were able to shoot arrows or to sling stones, right-handed or left-handed. They were kinsmen of Saul from the tribe of Benjamin. Ahiezer, their chief, and Joash the son of Shema, the Gibbethite, Jeziel and Pelet the sons of Asmaveth, Beraka, Jehu the Anophite, and Ishmaiah the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30, who was a leader of the 30, Jeremiah, Jehaziel, Johanan, Josabad the Gedaraphite, Eluzai, Jerimoth, Beeliah, Shamariah, and Shephatiah the Haruphite, Elkanah, Ishai, Ezrael, Jozer, and Jeshubim, the Koraphite, and Joel, and Zebadiah, the sons of Joram from Gedor. Some Gadites defected to David at his stronghold in the desert. They were brave warriors, ready for battle and able to handle the shield and spear. Their faces were the faces of lions, and they were swift as gazelles in the mountains. Ezer was the chief, Obadiah the second in command, Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Jonathan, Johanan the eighth, Elizabeth the ninth, Jeremiah the tenth, Machbani the 11th. These Gadites were army commanders. The least was a match for 100, and the greatest for 1,000. It was they who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing all its banks, and they put to flight everyone living in the valleys to the east and to the west. Other Benjamites and some men from Judah also came to David in his stronghold. David went out to meet them and said to them, "If you have come to me in peace to help me, I'm ready to have you unite with me. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, when my hands are free from violence, may the God of our fathers see it and judge you." Then the Spirit came upon Amasai, chief of the 30, and he said, "We are yours, O David. We are with you, O son of Jesse. Success, success to you, and success to those who help you, for your God will help you." So David received them and made them leaders of his raiding bands. Some of the men of Manasseh defected to David when he went with Philistines to fight against Saul. He and his men did not help the Philistines because after consultation the rulers sent him away. They said, "It will cost us our heads if he deserts to his master Saul." When David went to Ziklag, these were the men of Manasseh who defected to him: Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozbad, Elihu, and Ziliphi, leaders of units of 1,000 in Manasseh. They helped David against raiding bands, for all of them were brave warriors, and they were commanders in his army. Day after day, men came to help David until he had a great army like the army of God. These are the numbers of the men armed for battle who came to David at Hebron to turn Saul's kingdom over to him, as the Lord had said. Men of Judah, carrying shield and spear, 6,800 armed for battle. Men of Simeon, warriors ready to battle, 7,100. Men of Levi, 4,600, including Jehoiada, leader of the family of Aaron, with 3,700 men. And Zadok, a brave young warrior, with 22 officers from his family. Men of Benjamin, Saul's kinsmen, 3,000, most of whom had remained loyal to Saul's house until then. Men of Ephraim, brave warriors famous in their own clans, 20,800. Men of a half of the tribe of Manasseh, designated by name to come and make David king, 18,000. Men of Issachar, who understood the times and knew what Israel should do, 200 chiefs with all their relatives under their command. Men of Zebulun, experienced soldiers prepared for battle with every type of weapon to help David with undivided loyalty, 50,000. Men of Naphtali, 1,000 officers together with 37,000 men carrying shields and spears. Men of Dan, ready for battle, 28,600. Men of Asher, experienced soldiers prepared for battle, 40,000. And from east of the Jordan, men of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, armed with every type of weapon, 120,000. All these were fighting men who volunteered to serve in the ranks. They came to Hebron fully determined to make David king over all Israel. All the rest of the Israelites were also of one mind to make David king. The men spent 3 days there with David, eating and drinking, for their families had supplied provisions for them. Also, their neighbors from as far away as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali came bringing food on donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen. There were plentiful supplies of flour, fig cakes, raisin cakes, wine, oil, cattle, and sheep, for there was joy in Israel. Chapter 13. David conferred with each of his officers, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds. He then said to the whole assembly of Israel, "If it seems good to you, and if it is the will of the Lord our God, let us send word far and wide to the rest of our brothers throughout the territories of Israel, and also to the priests and Levites who are with them in their towns and pasture lands, to come and join us. Let us bring the ark of our God back to us, for we did not inquire of it during the reign of Saul." The whole assembly agreed to do this because it seemed right to all the people. So David assembled all the Israelites from the Shihor River in Egypt to Lebo Hamath to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Jearim. David and all the Israelites with him went to Bela of Judah, Kiriath Jearim, to bring up from there the ark of God, the Lord who is enthroned between the cherubim, the ark that is called by the name